This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, December 7th, 2021. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio has announced a first-in-the-nation COVID-19 vaccine requirement for the private sector. Tom Howe reports de Blasio said roughly 184,000 affected businesses have until December 27th to implement a vaccine mandate on their workers. The city will also require proof of vaccination for 5 to 11-year-olds for indoor dining, fitness businesses, and entertainment venues, which is an expansion of rules on anyone 12 and older. De Blasio said he's launching a preemptive strike against COVID-19 this winter and the Omicron variant of the disease, which has reached at least 17 states. The rules go into effect just days before Mayor-elect Eric Adams takes over City Hall. Top Republican investigators are looking for answers about how taxpayer money meant to go to unemployed Americans during the COVID-19 pandemic has been stolen, including by foreign actors. House Oversight and Reform Committee Republicans James Comer of Kentucky and Scott Franklin of Florida are behind the probe, according to our Stephen Dinan. It follows a report we told you about last week from LexisNexis Risk Solutions that as much as $140 billion in pandemic unemployment money potentially ended up in the hands of Chinese, Russian, and other foreign groups. Justice Department officials told Congress last month they brought charges in cases worth about $1 billion in COVID-19 fraud, but Comer and Franklin said that leaves hundreds of billions of dollars unaccounted for in a letter to Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco. Ukraine's president said that his country's military is ready to derail any invasion of Russian forces, a stark warning ahead of President Biden's high-stakes virtual summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Guy Taylor reports U.S. intelligence sources say Russia has massed some 70,000 troops near its neighbor and could be ready to invade as soon as next month. The White House said the president plans to discuss a range of topics with Putin, including cybersecurity and multinational nuclear talks with Iran, but will focus on Ukraine. Their last meeting was in Geneva in July as they tried to cool tensions and forge what U.S. officials called a stable, predictable, bilateral relationship. Russian officials said the U.S. and NATO have been provocative by rushing to arm Ukraine and challenging Russian forces in the Black Sea and the Baltics. Putin has said that inviting Ukraine to formally join the NATO alliance is a security red line. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. If you don't have access to the Times yet, you can visit WashingtonTimes.com/George for a special subscription offer. As Congress put the finishing touches on its infrastructure bill this fall, electric vehicle manufacturer Tesla said it would make its charging stations nationwide open to vehicles from all manufacturers, not just its own. The move signals a hope by Tesla to have an inside track to collect some of the $7.5 billion allocated to the construction of a broad network of charging ports, Kerry Murakami reports. Green energy advocates say the details are less important than the symbolism of the infusion of cash. They hope the investment gives the public a sense of a lasting commitment to the transition away from internal combustion engines. While planners draw the contours of how the $7.5 billion will be spent, analysts are speculating about who will get a piece of the action. Leading candidates include auto manufacturers and utility companies, which have deep pockets and the know-how to build charging stations. And finally, the negative publicity about Vice President Kamala Harris is getting so bad that one of her aides felt compelled to announce he's happy working for her. Dave Boy reports Harris aide David Gins tweeted that he loved his job along with a photo of him working this week. The Washington Post said 4 resignations of key aides in the vice president's office, including top advisor Simone Sanders, have reignited questions about why Harris churns through top-level Democratic staff. Some staffers criticized the vice president in the story for failing to read briefings to prepare on issues, and then berating aides when she's caught unprepared. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and follow us on all of your favorite podcast platforms just by searching Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WashTimes for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.